What's up, guys? Erin Darling for Crave Online. I'm here with the Dowdle brothers talking about your film, As Above, So Below, which, by the way, you guys familiar with the Tom Tom Club song?
No,
I just thought of this right now.
Which
Same
Tom Tom?
title.
Oh, is it really? I did not know that.
No, yeah, you'd think that would have come up by now. No.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
First for everything. So, you guys, this is kind of an awesome twist on the found footage subgenre that's happening a lot right now. What was the inspiration behind it?
Well, we really wanted to do something, a kind of Indiana Jones type adventure movie that has a female lead, and the Paris Catacombs just seemed to fit with that. And we wanted to tell it from a really personal vantage point. We felt found footage would be a great way to tell an epic kind of story from a really personal viewpoint.
Yeah, we had a lot of ideas about what this character, her name's Scarlett Marlowe, and we wanted a female Indiana Jones-like character, but we had a lot of ideas of what she was looking for, and we hadn't really put her in a setting yet. And then, meeting with Thomas Tull, Legendary, he brought up the Catacombs as an idea for a movie, and we said, you know what, this is a perfect fusion for what she may be looking for and where she should be going.
So the location kind of came first. I didn't know that was such an integral part of the whole story in terms of how it all came together.
Yes, very much.
Yeah, and it just sort of seemed to magically fit. Like, we thought it'd be cool if she was searching for the Philosopher's Stone, and Nicholas Flamel, who was thought to have created it, lived in Paris and was one of the first bodies buried in the catacombs. And so the whole thing just sort of magically connected, and we're like, okay, this is right.
So you guys had a lot of tough research and just, hours and hours of books and internet. No, just kidding. You guys got to go and actually check all this stuff out. And
oh yeah, we did.
Spent a lot of time in there.
Yeah, our first location scout, we crawled through a hole about this big, big enough for a raccoon, and we went in, we were wading in water. We had waders on, and we went 4 hours. We were army crawling on our bellies, crawling at points. We saw tunnels full of bones. I mean, it was gnarly.
Yeah, we had this guide. I kept having this feeling of if any one of us had an aneurysm and died or something, the rest would get out alive. But if this one guy went down, we all would have never gone down. If Gilles would have had an aneurysm, we would still be down there.
Yeah.
So what are some of the challenges working with a micro budget other than the obvious? Were there a lot of things that came up that were completely unexpected?
I mean, it was a small budget in Legendary terms. It was not, micro budget from where we've come from. We've made smaller movies than this.
Our first movie we made for $30,000. We're like, that's micro budget. Yeah, this was, and we had enough to do the, part of it is just the conceiving of the scale or scope of things. You can't do blow up a city, on this kind of budget. But you can get, if you're really specific, you can really go very, very deep, regardless of the money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Paris is not an inexpensive city, so it definitely, took a little bit of money, but it was, we kept it very intimate and had very, small spaces to work in. We had a very small crew, and so it was an intimate shoot.
What was it like working with the actors? Were there any particular ones that you really, really gravitated towards?
Well, Predita Weeks is our lead, is Scarlett Marlowe, and we read hundreds, maybe 300-400 people to find her, and we searched in LA, Paris, and London, and we found her out of London, and she's incredible. She's, we didn't want to have the kind of the genius archaeologist. We didn't want to just get a bimbo and put glasses on her. We wanted someone who feels really intelligent, and she really is.
Yeah, someone who's hyper intelligent but still accessible, that has got a sense of humor and that people can relate to. And that's such a hard combination to find. And she really was the only one of the 300 or 400 we read that nailed it.
Right. Where do you guys think the future of horror is going as people that work in the genre so often?
Oh, that's a good question.
That is a good question.
I think, I think horror, one of the nice things about horror is, if you scare people, it doesn't matter if you have big stars or tons of money or not, and you can tackle some really deep things in horror, and some real social allegories, and it's such an interesting space. You can do super artsy stuff, but no one calls it artsy, which is really pleasant. You can, and I think horror is the last great equalizer. Anyway, you can make a horror film for $2 million in your garage, or you can make it at a major studio. And I think horror is just such a wonderful way for people to get into the world of cinema and start, making a name for themselves. I think it's always going to be that.
I mean, you can make a horror film for $20,000 in your garage. I mean, it really is, like you said, a great equalizer. If you have great character, I think character is really the future and has always been an important thing in horror film. If you care about the people that are going through this experience, you really, can really sink your teeth into it. If it's just people that are set up to be killed, that have no depth to them, then it's a little harder to grab onto.
Great. Well, thanks, guys. We can't wait to see it.
Cool. Thank you so much.